So when you do your solo stuff, that's all just recording. Do you just kind of like sit down and go, or do you do it in like bits and pieces, or how does that process really work?
Bits and pieces for sure. You know, little bit at a time, over long periods of time.
So it's never like, all right, this year I'm gonna put together this album and it's gonna have this kind of message, and then I'm just gonna go for it. It's kind of you pick and choose as you go along.
Yeah, no, it's definitely I just make a ton of music all the time, and then a record takes shape. You know, I'm always thinking like I'm making a record, but then I always like to make way more than I need, so I can cherry pick the best stuff.
How did you get involved with the home tapes people?
I just, there used to be like this file sharing phenomenon called Hotline back in the like early part of the the aughts. Like the sort of pre-Napster, like file sharing community type thing. That like when I was a big part of the electronic music scene, like a lot of us electronic music nerds would meet and share records and stuff. And I met Adam from Home Tapes via that scenario. Just kind of like electronic music fan file sharing private hotline server thing. Strangely enough, and he'd started the label back then, and we just stayed in touch, and I played the Arthur Magazine Festival in 2005, and him and Sarah came out to see that, and we met in person for the first time, and I played them Neighbor Singing after I did it, and they offered to put it out, and I was thrilled to have them put it out. My days of trying to get money from big labels to put out records are over, basically, because I don't ever want to tour again. So with Home Tapes, it's perfect. I mean, I'm the only artist they have that doesn't tour, but they like the records enough and dig my whole story enough to put out my records. I feel really lucky because they do such a wonderful job.
Do you ever do shows?
Not if I can help it.
Really?
I've totally sworn off playing live. It just stresses me out really badly. I just I don't know. I just came to the realization that that's not what I love about music. What I love about music is writing and producing, and the whole reproducing of things live is just so incredibly stressful. That and I did so much of it from such an early age. From 8 that I have no desire to do it. And I'm a homebody. I've got my kid here. I have a 6-year-old son, and I'm sort of the primary stay-at-home parent. That's like incredibly satisfying and nice because I get to do that and make records at the same time and write for the blog. So it's like the idea of getting in a van with a bunch of stinky guys, it's lost its appeal.
Well, like as you were saying with the reproducing sounds, I mean, with the music that you make in particular, doing that live kind of has to be a pain in the ass. Am I right?
Well, it would if I were to properly attempt to play it, it would be a pain in the ass. But I can't even. I mean, and an expensive pain in the ass too because it's so vocal oriented. I mean, to really do this stuff live, I would need like multiple singers and multiple instrumentalists, and there's not like the demand to. It just wouldn't make any sense economically, you know what I mean? So, but the records are there. And to me, the record is the thing, I guess some bands and some artists make records as advertisements for their shows, but for me, it's the ultimate thing. The record is the thing.
What do you think about the current state of music? I don't know if you watched the Grammys. I know that was a big deal with
a little. I mean, my wife's in the music business, so I have to be aware of it to a certain extent. But there's not much for me in the Grammys. That's for damn sure.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of, not particularly on the Grammys, but like just kind of what's going on right now. A lot of nods to what you were doing, with the Caribou and what Sleigh Bells did last year and what other bands are starting to.
What band did you say?
Sleigh Bells.
Sleigh Bells. I never heard them.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of a noise pop duo.
Are they considered new gays? I mean,
no, it's pop, but really loud.
Yeah, I mean, if there's good songs, I'll like it. I mean, there's plenty. I always draw a blank when somebody asks me like what's new. I mean, but that I like, but I mean, I like most of the major, indie players that I hear now. I'm a massive Deerhoof fan, for example. I mean, I know they're hardly new, but God, I'm totally drawing a blank now. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to like say that music is bad now or it was better when I was out there touring. I mean, I don't know,
Oh no, I was just wondering what you were following.
I don't know. I'm always discovering older stuff. I'm always like having more fun discovering weird old Private Press records and stuff. I mean, as far as like new bands, I don't know. Let me look at my iTunes for a second. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like new stuff. God, I've got like nothing new here.
And in new stuff, I mean like past like 5 years.
Like, I mean, I enjoyed like the James Blake album that I heard like recently.
Yeah.
Just for example, I mean, Deer Hunter is all right. Like all the major players I think are pretty good. I love that new Cut Copy single,
Yeah.
It's like this, that epic pop. I think it's called Need You Now. I mean, I heard it by accident. I never would have checked them out, but I heard that song by accident. I was like, wow, that's a pretty great pop tune, like any song that I can like sing after I hear it is, works for me. I like melodies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, God, I don't. But it seems like the really exciting stuff is like discovering older stuff. But I don't know. I'm sorry I don't have like more exciting answers.
Oh no, I mean that's fine. Just getting into the mind,
What's that?
Just getting into the mind.
Yes.
Of Brad Lehner. The dangerous mind, I should say.
Yes. Very, I don't know, silly name. I didn't come up with it, but it somehow works. I don't know why. But I mean, the thing is, though, also is I've been writing a lot, and when I'm writing, it's really hard for me to listen to other stuff. Get very self-involved and stop being able to listen too much.